Okay, let's just dive right into this. If you're sitting in the C-suite right now, or maybe you're aspiring to get there, you might think of corporate governance as, well, kind of a dry administrative checklist. You know the drill, right? Board meetings, regulatory compliance, endless reports. Well, in today's explainer, we are completely tearing down that outdated view. We're going to explore an entirely new playbook, strategic corporate governance in the age of global disruption. Because let's be totally honest here, we live in a highly volatile, massively complex world. And it brings up a pretty provocative question. Will your company survive, or will it completely collapse in an age of global disruption? And look, this isn't just theoretical fear-mongering. The geopolitical, technological, and financial forces out there right now are literally destroying outdated business models overnight. Governance is no longer just about checking a compliance box. It is absolutely the ultimate survival toolkit for your business. So here's our roadmap for dissecting this intelligent corporate ecosystem today. Number 1, the modern nervous system. 2, strategic structures. 3, comprehensive risk. 4, the digital and AI era. 5, culture and crisis. And finally, number 6, the future of governance. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the modern nervous system, where we're redefining corporate governance. So, where does a modern board actually fit into all of this? Well, let's look at the definition. Strategic corporate governance is a system of decisions, control mechanisms, and long-term orientation acting as a nervous system coordinating the entire corporate ecosystem. It's really not just operational management anymore. Think of a giant conglomerate like Samsung. They don't just sell smartphones. They've got electronics, life insurance, biologics, heavy industries. What keeps all of that aligned? It's this strategic nervous system that seamlessly syncs their capital, technology, and global data across the entire organization. It's honestly fascinating to look at how governance has evolved to get to this point. Phase 1 was traditional, highly power-centric, often family-run, relying heavily on gut feeling and, frankly, slow decisions. Then came Phase 2, which was entirely performance-driven. That's where organizations became obsessed with KPIs, standard processes, and financial audits. But Phase 3, that's where the cutting edge operates today, intelligent governance. It's AI-driven, it's data-centric, and it happens in real time. Amazon operates right here, using predictive logistics and behavioral analytics to make massive strategic decisions instantly. It really begs the question, which phase is your company currently stuck in? Moving on to Section 2, strategic structures. We're looking at centralized versus decentralized models. To anchor this theoretical framework and reality, I want to pose a direct question to you. Who does it better, Apple or Unilever? We're talking about two massive, highly successful corporate giants, but they have completely opposite governance DNA. Take Apple, for example. They represent centralized control. The parent company fiercely dictates design, customer experience, and software from the top down. The result? Insanely high margins and flawless global brand uniformity within a single ecosystem. In stark contrast, you've got Unilever, representing decentralized governance. They give tremendous autonomy to their local markets. Brands like Omo or Sunsilk adapt specifically to local cultural tastes and needs. It's incredibly flexible. One model thrives on rigid control, the other on hyper-local flexibility. You just have to choose the structure that fits your specific market. Section 3, comprehensive risk. It is time to build the corporate immune system. Out there in the VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, there are constant looming threats. Organizations absolutely need a robust enterprise risk management immune system to handle these major strategic risks. These are the forces that literally destroy business models and long-term cash flow. You've got market risks, like sudden recessions and crushing inflation. Technology risks, encompassing AI disruption and severe cyber threats. Geopolitical forces, like trade wars and shattered global supply chains. And of course, ESG risks, things like carbon emission standards or corporate ethics violations. If left unmanaged, any single one of these can be fatal to your enterprise. So defending against all that requires the ERM framework. Think of it as a methodical, step-by-step corporate shield. Step 1, it starts with risk identification, followed immediately by measuring the probability and impact in risk assessment. From there, you move into risk prioritization, then actual risk mitigation, where your defenses are actually built, and finally, continuous monitoring and reporting.
Let's look at a massive real-world pivot to really ground this ERM theory. Take Toyota back in 2011, right after the devastating earthquakes and supply chain breaks in Japan. Because they already had an ERM framework in place, they utilized multi-tiered supply chains, strategic parts reserves, and predictive risk mapping. This incredible corporate immune system allowed them to recover vastly faster than their competitors in the post-crisis period.
All right, Section 4, the digital and AI era, supercharging the ecosystem. We're seeing AI applications map directly to core business functions in some pretty unbelievable ways. Predictive analytics is fundamentally changing revenue forecasting and mapping out customer behavior. Intelligent automation, it's taking over the heavy lifting in accounting, logistics, and customer care. But the highest level, the real game changer, is strategic intelligence. This is where AI acts as a co-pilot for the board, handling incredibly complex competitive analysis and scenario planning.
If you really want to see this in action, just look at JP Chase. They deployed an AI platform called Coin specifically to read legal contracts and analyze risk. By doing this, they eliminated hundreds of thousands of manual labor hours. It dramatically reduced their operational costs and significantly cut down on human legal errors. It is just a perfect, flawless example of intelligent governance at work.
Section 5, Culture and Crisis. This is the human element of governance. Here's the thing, the best AI and the strongest structures in the world, they will absolutely fail without the right corporate culture and crisis readiness. As Edgar Schein notes, corporate culture is a system of basic assumptions formed during the organization's process of adapting to the environment. Listen, culture is not a motivational poster in the break room. It is your organization's ultimate survival reflex. Consider Netflix. They purposefully built a high-performance culture based on radical freedom combined with extreme responsibility. They completely stripped away bureaucracy so their top talent could adapt to the streaming wars faster than anyone else on the planet. But, a great culture actually has to be measured. To evaluate your organization's health, you need strategic KPIs across 4 distinct perspectives of the balanced scorecard. Those 4 are financial, customer, internal process, and learning and growth. If your culture is actually working, it will positively impact all 4 of these metrics. And you desperately need that strong culture because, let's face it, your ecosystem will inevitably be attacked. When it is, you enter the 5 critical phases of crisis management. 1, prevention. 2, preparedness. 3, response. 4, recovery. And 5, institutional learning. A weak corporate culture, it completely shatters at phase 3. When culture and crisis management align perfectly, you get what is basically the gold standard, Johnson & Johnson's response to the Tylenol crisis. Faced with a lethal product tampering issue, their governance culture demanded a massive national product recall, entirely transparent communication, and the absolute prioritization of consumer safety over short-term profits. By putting human safety first, they completely recovered their brand trust. Finally, Section 6, the future. AI native and ESG-driven governance. So where is this all heading? Well, future leaders are going to share a few key traits. They'll run seamlessly on AI automated decisions, they'll integrate real-time data, and they'll sustain an unbreakable culture of continuous innovation. And vitally, they'll prioritize ESG. Environmental, social, and governance criteria have shifted away from being just cute PR moves. They are now strict capital standards required by global investors and global supply chains. As we wrap up today's explainer on the strategic corporate nervous system, I want to leave you with this final demanding question. Will your ecosystem adapt and lead in this era of disruption, or will it be rendered completely obsolete? Look closely at your board, your technology, and your culture. The forces of disruption are already here, right now. How you choose to govern today will entirely decide if you exist tomorrow.